Good evening, everybody. Hope this video finds you well. Got my coffee. We're going to discuss some cars. We are an automotive-based channel. If you're a first-time viewer, I really appreciate you coming and checking us out. If you like the content, please do me a favor. Smash that like button. Give me a sub. And most important, leave me a comment down below. I really enjoy the comments. If you want to message me privately, the email is in the link. Today what we're going to discuss is we got a couple Christmas gifts, and we're going to show you what we picked up, and then we're going to dive right into this RC build here. So this will be one of the first of many. We'll have to break this thing down, but we'll open the box today. So with that being said, let's flip this guy around, and we'll get right into this thing. So be right back. Alright, so let's move this tray out of the way. So the first Christmas present that I got here is this really cool AMT. This is a 34 Ford 5-window coupe. Really cool. I did not have this kit. 34 Ford Street Rod 5-window coupe. So don't know what we're going to do with this build yet, but we're definitely just going to plop that in the stash. I'm not sure what this kit's like compared to, say, the Revell kits. I've only built the Revell street rods, so this will be the first AMT one. But I like it. I'm very excited to see what we do with it, and we're going to stick that in the stash. And then this one here I found on eBay. This is the flat box Revell kit. This is a 57 Cadillac Eldorado. Really cool to get this thing. I love the Cadillacs. I love the big, the old cars. So I don't have a lot of these big-bodied old cars. You know, I don't have a lot of the Chryslers, the Dodges, and the Cadillac stuff. But definitely something that I want to add to the stash, and then get a couple of these builds done as we go. For the most part, a lot of my stash is muscle cars. So I definitely was excited that we won this thing. This one's sealed. It's got a little bit of box damage, but you know, it is what it is. I got it at a very fair price, and I'm very excited to have this thing. I think personally these cars had so much cool features to these things, just the way they are, is that I think I would just like to build it the way the box art is. To me, that would just be a beautiful piece sitting in a case or on the shelf, just the way it is. So, you know, you got a lot of chrome on these things just to stand out. I always enjoy checking these things out. Same thing with the Lincoln Continentals. I got to see if there's a model kit of Lincoln Continentals. That'd be cool builds as well. So very cool. That one there I bought myself for Christmas. And the other presents over here, let's spin this around. And it's this really cool case. You got to put them together, but they turn out really well. As you can see, I've put my tractor in there for now. I have the Barracuda up there on the loft. That there's a figure that Joel over at Iceman had sent me. I definitely want to paint him up and get him detailed, and he's going to live in this thing. So that's really cool. There'll be a few things that I want to kind of change up and spruce up, but really neat storage case, display, you know, really kind of cool. I know some of you probably remember this one from last year. I got this one for Christmas last year. So we use this quite often. We'll rotate some of the models through here. But this is the new one for this year, and was a lot of fun to pop together, and we'll figure out how we can make this into a little city or something over here in the corner. So alrighty, let's flip this back around. Alrighty, So those are the Christmas gifts that I got that are based around the automotive and the hobby. A lot of the other stuff that I got was shirts and clothing and some other knick-knack stuff. It's all really cool stuff. One of them I did have on the video. That was a shirt that said "Still Plays with Blocks" and it's got an engine block on it. That was a cool shirt. But today I bought this kit, you know, when it first came out, and just haven't had the time to sit down and build this thing. So today we're going to crack this guy open and get going. I really want to build that. I had a good conversation with an old buddy of mine, RC buddy, and we talked for quite a while the other day, and it was really refreshing to talk to him. I talked to a couple other guys here in the last couple days as well, and it's really taken off is the vintage races, to see these re-release vintage cars, and they're starting to do stuff with them. I really wish that would happen up here in Minnesota, to do these vintage cars versus, you know, these cookie cutter new age race cars. This is really cool. There was so much character between the brands. There's limits on what the handling capabilities are of these cars. So you basically put a lot more driver technique back into play to win a race or to pass somebody. So really dig these vintage cars. These take me back big time. I'm a big guy for history on stuff like that. So I try to stay current as well, but I still remember where I come from. And I've been racing RC stuff since that would be about 85. So 85, 86 is when we started racing RC. This was a good hobby for me, and I definitely feel that it teaches a lot as far as building the kits raw. I'm not a big guy on the ready to runs. I know that's going to probably upset a few people. To me, I like the building. I like all that stuff. I think ready runs have a place, and that place is to get people into the hobby and they can experience the instant gratification of plugging the battery in and going out there and ripping across the yard. But if you're going to go for any kind of future performance or fixing it, the start is always better to just build the kit. You've already put it together. You know how you got to take it apart when you break it. Alrighty, so we got a couple seals here on this box. They've got down on the edges here. So we'll get them cut. It's like a big model kit. Like I said, I went from models to these things back in the 80s, and I still did models as well because, you know, the RC stuff was a lot more expensive, and once you build them, you're pretty much done. This is cool. Looks like they're giving us a poster. Oh wow, that's really cool. Like I said, this is the first time I've opened this. That was that's the art that basically was the ad in all the magazines back in the day for this kit. Really cool double-sided poster. Really neat. Like I said, I always wanted this kit. All my original Optimas from when I, you know, raced as a child, I still have them, but they were all the rear motor Optimas. This one's a mid motor deal. So this was focused more around the oval race, or not the oval racing, the off-road racing, to get that weight into the center. And at that point in time, we were doing oval racing. So the rear weight was actually beneficial back in the days to have that on the back of the car. Nowadays, everything is mid-motor. So really cool. That's cool to give you that poster. We got to find somewhere to hang that. Of course, here's our sticker sheet. Now this kit here, it's got a hard plastic wing in there. It does have two sets of decals with this kit. It's on the box. It says it's got both the Turbo Optima, which that was the colors for the Turbo Optima, and then this is the box art for the original that was released. So you have the choice of doing it two ways. Back in the day, they sold this. The Turbo Optima Mid was a secondary kit to this one. So really cool. Again, Kyosho does an amazing job with the packaging of their kits, and I've always was intrigued by that as a child. This is the way a lot of the kits came. Today's race kits are not like this. It's basically a box that you open up, and it's just a bunch of bags, A, B, C, and D. This has always, to me, been very inviting. This is the way they had to do this in the hobby shops back in the day, was to kind of give people a visual. They'd open the box. If you wanted to buy the kit, they'd show you, there's your tires, blah, 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 what parts were in there. This is really cool feature that Kyosho had brought back with these whole vintage series, and that's really neat. The rest of the main parts, here's your Lexan body, are going to be in these tubs for these boxes. I think this thing is kind of taped together here, and you got to cut that stuff out, but so they've got boxes in here. Here's our instruction sheet right here. Here's the other decal set with the instructions. And then this here is going to be how basically a lot of your kits are today, where you have everything in bags, all your screws. They give you a few tools, and they got them in bag, like there's bag E, there's D, there's B, which is helpful, right? A, B, C. So here's your chassis plate, you know, nicely done. Everything's countersink. So really cool. We still we're gonna have to cut all those out of there. They punched holes in them on these new ones, where before you would have to try and rip this thing all apart. I think nowadays people want to just kind of cut the back open and get the parts out. And then this box here is going to have, there's the culprit, taped right there. Get that separated. So it looks like we've got another white wing in here. I think we have the majority of our plastic parts are in here. Yep, this is the majority of our gear cases. Yep, Kyosho will list that as plastic bag. You can see in there that we've got our wheels and tires are in there. Really cool. We've got the white wing is in there for this version. And our gear, just more plastic pieces in here. So really cool. We gotta get this bench kind of organized and get this box out of our way, and we will start to build this thing. I've been itching to build this for quite some time now, so this is gonna be a lot of fun. So we got all our bags chopped up, got our instructions out, kind of going over this thing. Sometimes they got some parts in there. They did give us a sheet that we need to follow, because there's some things in the instruction manual that are not correct. So we've got to follow those steps, because they different part number changes, stuff like that. We've got our wing, we got our wheels, tires, we've got our tools ready. If many are not familiar, this is the corner. This is the RC corner, basically, of the bench in the room. These things, highly recommend these. I use these for models as well. I bought these at first for teardowns, but I have multiples of them. They're $1.25, something like that, $1.50 at the dollar store. They're old lunch trays is what they are. So I use them with model builds as well. So I have another idea for some of the model builds to use with these trays, and we're going to build that, and we will definitely share that on the channel as well. And I think we'll probably even kind of give everybody like the dimensional drawings if they want them to on how I built it, if that's something that they want. So let's flip this back around. Alrighty, so that's gonna do it. It's late, but I'm not tired, so we're gonna get into this thing. So by the time this thing uploads, it's probably gonna be 1 a.m., 2 o'clock, something like that, because it's after midnight here. We got a late start this morning, being I wasn't feeling too well yesterday. I kind of went to bed and I slept in. I needed that. Definitely has been a great vacation so far. I'm having a lot of fun, really relaxing, de-stressing. So thanks to all the people that comment. Thanks for subscribing to this stuff. Thanks for watching this stuff. And we're going to do a lot more different things that involve wheels. Hope you like it. I'm just being me. That's all I can do. I can just be me. I think there's a lot of people on here that try to be stuff that is not them. So anyhow, I'm out of here. So peace out, everybody. Have a good one.